Thank you for tuning in to Mona Lisa Late Night. Grab your glass and let's get started. But before we get there, please go to my website, www.monalisamonroe.com. We've got merchandise, we've got t-shirts, we've got cups, we've got totes, we've got everything you need. We've even got my book, Life After the Diagnosis. So, let's go ahead, grab your glass, bottoms up, let's start talking. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Evenings with Mona Lisa Monroe. Man, oh man, I hope you guys enjoyed March Madness like me. Because please believe, March was full of authors and the show, believe me, was interesting every Thursday. Whether it was a Thursday night or a Thursday morning, it was interesting. And when you have live shows, it's live. What can you do? You just roll with it. Roll with it, rock with it. Wasn't that a song? Roll with it, rock with it. Well, anyway, thank you for tuning in this evening to the Mona Lisa Evenings with Mona Lisa, and we got an author for you tonight. But before we do that, of course, I got to tell you something. What do I have to tell you? I need to tell you to go to the website, www.monalisamonroe.com. And just like the commercial said, honey, we've got merchandise for you. And when you purchase the merchandise, you are supporting the show. And I love it. I mean, what's not to support? This show is for you. This show, we're talking about what you're talking about, okay? And every Thursday morning, I want you guys to check us out. 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. We are on live on Thursdays. And then, of course, in the evenings, it's Evening with Mona Lisa. And just like you saw on the commercial, that is the evening commercial, of course. And I love it because, I get a chance to just slow it down. In the evenings, we just slow everything down. And of course, we still get the red hot topics. We still have a conversation. We still talk about what you're talking about. And so we're just going to get started. We have an author that's going to come on tonight, and she is the bomb. And I just really want you guys to embrace her and get to know who she is. She's everywhere on social media. And of course, when she gets on, I want to give her a chance to tell you guys all about what she's got going. For sure, for sure. But until then, please comment, click, like, and share the show. We're not here unless you're here. So we want to continue to tell you to support and watch the show, because we're running on 2 years, which is unbelievable to me. So our birthday, our anniversary is April the 16th. And of course, we're going to do something different. Every month we're doing something different. So we want you to tune in and don't miss out on the goodness. Who knows what we'll do? Who knows what we'll do? But please click like and share the show. When you get an opportunity, comment. Your comment means the world. Okay, I love it, love it, love it. Whether that's Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, we are streaming live on all platforms. So if you are tuning in on either one of those platforms, I will try my best to answer back or holler back. And that's the part that just really trips me out, because I mean I got three different screens up, so I want to make sure I get all of your comments in Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook. Where else? Oh, we're on YouTube. Let me see: Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. So I want to be able to address everyone's questions and comments. So I got all my screens up, getting ready for everybody to tune in. Tune in. Let me see here. What's going on? What's going on? Let's see. Yeah, so she is coming on, but she's gonna be on a little late, which is fine. Um, she's a busy lady, understandable. But until then, so as you guys know, like I was saying, the month of March, we had authors and publishers on, and we were talking about the books that we were blessed to write. And when I say that, I mean it, because writing a book, it is something that you really actually have to put your mind to. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's something that you have to be consistent with, um, because once you stop, it could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, it could be a month, it could be a year until you get back going. So just keep going. Just keep going, whether that's two sentences on a day or whatever. Please continue to write. If you got a book inside of you, please don't stop. Keep going, keep moving. And that is my word for every author. And I want to say author, cover up authors or in secret authors. I want to encourage you to keep going. Do not stop. Get that pen and paper, even if the pen and paper is by your bed. Do not stop writing. Continue to write, write, write. Okay. And my second thing, the first thing is write, write, write. The second thing is be consistent. Continue to do it. If you have to set a time, set aside a time so you can make sure you're on schedule. Me, I'm a person that needs a schedule. I'm a person that needs a routine. So it was like whatever a time I would set aside, and I wouldn't give myself a time limit or a time frame, because you just never know when the juices start flowing. But I did have to have a time that I could just sit down, you know what I mean, and write. So set a time. Don't set a time frame, because then that's too much pressure. But just set a time aside so you can write. Okay. So what else can I say to encourage the authors? Um, is it true about writing a book being expensive? Well, not anymore. I mean, it used to be expensive, but now you've got self-published authors. You've got Amazon. You can be able to publish a book through Amazon, through Barnes and Noble. What's the other one? It was another bookstore, but nowadays you can get it done. Even Word gives you an opportunity to do editing and finish up writing your book and format. So it's really not expensive anymore. It's just the discipline of it. It's just the discipline of it. Do you really want to finish it? Do you really want to do it? And if you do, you have to get the discipline for it. And I never did know about the publishing side of it all. But if anyone is a publisher, please tell me what that looks like as a publisher. But as an author, you really got to have a discipline to it. You really got to make yourself sit down and pay attention to what's going on. And that's what I would say to all the authors out there. Keep going, keep pushing. set a time aside, not a time frame, but just a time, whether that's your pen and paper by your bed, because sometimes, I have to be honest, it would be in the middle of the night sometimes, and you'd have a word or something to write, and I would just roll over, write, and then go back to sleep because you got to get it off of you. But now you can record your voice, audio, and you know what? I might try to do that, try to read the second book in audio. That would be pretty cool. I might do some investigating on that to see what all that entails. But I do need to go ahead and finish that second book. I mean, that's just something that I need to personally follow up with, and just, like I said, discipline. I know we got a lot going on, life happens, but we just have to continue to push forward, push through, um, you know, and I gave that word last time. It's just like it's a lot going on. So what else is there to do but make it, right? Because if you don't, you're going to fall on the wayside, fall by the wayside. And you don't want to do that, because that looks ugly. That's depression, that's sadness, that's all of that. So you want to just keep joy in your back pocket, and you want to be consistent. And of course, I'm a firm believer you can't do anything without God. So keep him first, and then you follow up. Because everything is requiring you to do something. You know what I mean? It's a requirement. So it's up to you. It's really up to you. And I encourage you once again to try your best to make things happen. Make it happen for yourself. Do your best. Do your very best. You know what I mean? Do your very best. But as I was saying, at this point, you can try your best. You can keep trying. And yes, failure is an option, not an option, but failure does not mean quitting. Everybody's going to fail at something sometime. But all because you missed the mark doesn't mean you have to stop. Keep going, keep pushing, keep trying, and that's what it's all about. If you believe in your heart of hearts that this is something that you want to complete or you want to do, make it happen. Make it happen, make it happen, make it happen. And I know it can be discouraging. Good grief, Lord. I know. It can be discouraging. But that's life, right? Oh, that is so good. But please keep going. Keep moving. Keep pushing. And that's a song somewhere. That is a song somewhere. Keep moving. And as I stated before, we're on different platforms. So I want to keep track on everything. Make sure I've got everybody answered. We're on Facebook. Facebook page is the Mona Lisa Monroe Show for evenings, and the Mona Lisa Monroe Morning Show for mornings. So we have my beautiful, wonderful guest now on the show. Let me introduce you guys to this beautiful lady here. What in the world, girl? I'm telling you, you a busy lady. I'm like, woohoo!
I am so sorry I'm late. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine with your beautiful self. How
Awesome.
are you?
Thank you so much. You are beautiful too. I apologize for being late, but I was over teaching my mentees and we got to talking and I was like, go, I gotta go. So I apologize for being late.
No problem. I'm going to let you have the floor because I want to know all about you. So tell us, please, what do you do? Who are you? Give us a bio or something.
Okay. My name is Jennifer King. I am the best-selling author of 33 Years a Slave, Removing Chains from Life, Love, and Business. And the book is all about the 33 chains that were in my life that nearly choked the life out of me.
Wow.
And so I have a book and a journal, and I talk about the chains from debt to the job, to family, to do all these things that were like had me in a chokehold.
Wow.
And I called it 33 Years a Slave because it was actually 33 years that I worked at my job.
Wow.
The same job. I left it in May of 2019, and it was I graduated from high school at 17, started working there at 17, went to school, got a associate's, a bachelor's, and a master's. And I don't say all that to brag. I just say all that to say that I don't use any of that stuff now. I had to work hard beginning in 2018 to build my business so that I could leave that job. And I actually call my job, and people that work for a job building someone else's dream, I say that they're working on a plantation.
Man, look, that is I'm telling you right now, they call it the Great Resignation. I think a lot of people got the memo or understood the assignment. I mean, it's been so many people that have decided, you know what? Let me do something that I enjoy. Let me do something that makes me happy. And I'm telling you, the pandemic hit hard for some, but created millionaires for others. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you have so many people that had to go back to work, or right now, even my sister, she's like, they're saying we got to come in 3 days a week. I don't want to go back to the office. Right. I was so grateful, Mona, when I got done, the pandemic hit, I had already left my job.
Wow.
I didn't have to worry about it. I had a school-age child at the time. I didn't have to worry about going to work and figuring out what I was going to do with him. I felt so bad for all those people that had to do that. So fast forward, I started that job in 1985. I left in 2019, nearly 34 years later, but I called it 33 Years a Slave because I was a slave to a job. I live what I called, and I didn't know Michelle Obama talked about this in her book, Becoming, but in my book, I talk about a check the box lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And a check the box lifestyle is go to school, get good grades, graduate, get a job, work hard, get married, I checked all those boxes. Right. Wow. And now I'm just like, I don't want to live in the box. And people say, think outside the box. But that's just something people say because it sounds good. But nobody's thinking outside the box. They're still checking the boxes.
Exactly. So now at this point, I'm ready to get into this book. So let me go ahead and somebody had a question for you. Why did you write a book? Okay. So why did you even write it?
Okay, the reason I wrote it is because I had just started with my business coach, and she was the type of person that said, y'all need to get some street credit. Because I was working to be a business coach. At the time, I was teaching social media strategies. Now I'm full-blown business coach, teach people how to build their business so they can get off their job. So I needed street credit. I actually have 4 books that I've written, but the one I'm most proud of is the bestseller, 33 Years a Slave. And when I wrote that book, I thought I was writing it about me, but I wanted to help people. And there were so many people that read the book and they were like, you were talking about me. How did you know?
Oh my goodness.
And I thought it was just me.
Wow.
I thought it was me.
Wow. Okay. So how did you get started? So I'm thinking they mean, how did you get started on putting it together? You know what I mean? Because a lot of people say, oh, I got a book in me. Oh, I could write a book. How did you even get started?
I was fortunate enough to have a coach that coached me through it. She had a master class on writing a book. I'm getting ready because I talk to my clients. I tell them, y'all need some street credit. You need to be able to talk about what you do and have it in a book. Have it in an ebook, at the very minimum, an ebook. And they're like, God, that sounds like so much. No, I'm going to teach you how to do it. You've got to
Mm,
know how to get your thoughts on paper, because
right.
everybody does have a book inside of them. They
Yeah.
just got how to put it in logical and chronological order and
Yeah.
get it on paper. Find you an amazing publisher, get them to publish it. I have the strategy for you to make it a bestseller, because that adds to your street credit. You want to
Right.
be able to say you're a best-selling author.
Right, right. And it was so funny for me because as you know, I had a bout with leukemia, okay? And I've been in remission for 12 years now.
Praise God.
Amen and amen. And so the book started as a journal. And I tell people that because most women journal, and
Right.
some men journal. And I said, and lo and behold, that ended up being the book. Every day I would write, and this would happen to me today, and da 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 da. And then I came across a phenomenal publisher, and I think that's everything as well, because when you have someone that actually can walk that walk with you, it means everything. Would you
Everything.
would you agree?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's a great strategy, is to start with your journal. It was very easy for me to write 33 Years a Slave, because that's what I was, right?
Right, right.
That's what I was. So journaling, that's a great, great strategy. That's a place to start. And depending on, I'm not sure who asked the question, what is it that you want to write about? If you could give us a little bit more information, we can give
Mhm.
you a little bit more strategy on where to start. That's a great question.
Yeah, I agree. How did you think your book will make a change? What,
Um,
did you even think along that line? You
I
just
did not. I did not
yeah.
at the time. Did not think about that, but now that you asked the question, I'm gonna tell you now how it's made a change, because I wrote that book. I released it in May of 2019, and Mona, at my last day of work, I did a book signing at work, and someone said, "You can't do that." Why can't I do it? What they gonna do?
What they go I love it.
What are they gonna do? So the way the book makes change now is I still teach from my book. I didn't
Oh,
just create a book in a journal and put it out here for sale and sell it and then forget about it. I still
right.
sell copies of my book. I use my book to teach, because I'm a business coach, but I can't coach you to build a business until I give you a level of life coaching, because your
Wow.
business problem is a personal problem.
Oh, I love it.
Yes. Ye-
Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm glad that I met you, because I'm going to be transparent here. After I wrote the book, okay, I did a book signing, right? And at the book signing event, you read pieces of the book.
Mhm.
And I promise you, I relived those moments, and it hurt. And I said to myself, I don't want to do this again. I mean, you know what I mean? Mentally and emotionally, it was draining.
Right.
So I stopped doing it. And when I started doing the shows in March about authors and publishers, I started, I mean, really, I said, oh, this is whooping me, because I actually dropped everything in 2018 and didn't do anything else with the book. And I said, I need to be shamed. I need to do better.
You
So
do.
for those who have a book and actually shelved it, I mean, whether that was intentional or not, how do we get back going on the road of promotion? You know what I mean?
Right, absolutely. That's a great question. And pull that book off the shelf, because the when you wrote the book, you put all your information down. There are people that have experienced what you've experienced, whether it's a book about business, about your life, about whatever. Pull it off the shelf.
Mm,
It and you're gonna have to grow through a lot
yeah,
of what happened, because you had to relive it, right? But pull
yeah,
it off the shelf and talk about it more. My
yeah.
book, I did and I do this on a regular basis. I don't even have a copy of it. I do have this book here that I wrote called 2020 Vision. But take a chapter of your book or talk about your book, go live and talk about your book, because
Ooh,
it's going to help somebody.
yeah.
You can do webinars around it. I'm doing a whole conference in May, and half the conference is I'm bringing in a speaker to talk about business and automation and strategies, and then the other half of the day-long conference, I'm going to be teaching from my book and my
Wow.
journal, and I'm going to have somebody come in that can, because you talked about how you relived it, right? So I've got to be able to bring in a level of self-care for people,
Yeah.
whether I do it myself or because I can't have people leave with those open wounds, because the
Yeah.
same chains I have, they're still dealing with them. See, I
Right.
deal with some of those chains now, but I recognize them. So when it's choking me like this, I know how to let it go. I know how to pull it.
Well, I'm going to get your book. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I'm going to get your book.
I want to get yours, and I want to offer some to some of your listeners. So you think of some ways we can give some books and journals away. I can ship them directly to them or to you or whatever. But for those that are tuning in, let's pick 3 people and let's send them a book and journal.
Oh, that sounds good to me. That sounds good to me. Can you share some of the chains or the you know what I mean, the bondage that you were in?
Absolutely. I don't even need the book. Some of the first, I start the book off talking a little bit about when I was younger and how I grew up. We moved to Texas. It was a culture shock for us to move
Oh,
to Texas, number one,
where
because
were
we
you from?
were around people that looked like us. And when we came here, where we moved to, we were with people that didn't look like us. So that in and of itself was a culture shock at the age of 10 and 12,
Mm,
walking into that, right? Then
mhm.
going to high school, then my mom said, okay, you going to college. So I went to college. I have an associate's, a bachelor's, and a master's. If anybody needs a master's degree, you can have mine. Because I'm
Whoa.
here to tell you, I make more money now, and I don't say this to brag. I make
Mhm,
more money now than I ever made working, for a couple of reasons. I have a different mindset about money.
mhm,
I got a coach, and
mm.
now I don't sell stuff. I serve people. When you
Oh,
stop selling and start serving, it will change your life.
oh, I love it.
It will change your
Absolutely.
life. So I had the chains of marriage. It sounded good. Everybody was getting married in the 90s. So let me get married too. All right. Then we have the kids. And I love my kids. Don't get me wrong. Right.
Uh-huh.
Wouldn't change nothing about my kids, but that was the thing to do. Right.
Uh-huh.
Then we have the chains of debt. Went to school, a lot of financial aid, a lot of
Oh,
student loan debt, the
yeah,
chains of
yeah.
a job. Okay, at the job for 33 years. How many of you guys have been passed over for jobs? They've hired people that you had to train. They
My
hired people with
goodness.
less education experience. Chains of money, the job, promotions, all
Wow.
of that stuff during that 33 years. Because remember, I started when I was 17. I stayed there. That was a chain because I talked myself into being happy. I talk about how those 33 years I was sleepwalking through life. I
Oh,
left at 51. I'm 54 now, right?
wow.
So from 17 to 51, I was in a box, chained in a
Wow.
box that I am now out of. I'm unemployable right now because there's nothing you can tell me to do because I know how to. I talk myself into being happy. That was the chain too. It's okay. It could be worse.
Right?
It
That's
could be
right.
worse,
That's
right? So
right.
some of the other chains, the chains, of course, of education, kids, the chains of a job, promotion, more education. That was even a whole chapter. More education, because I had the bachelor's. Then I was like, oh, let me go get a master's. What did that
Mm.
get me? More student loan debt.
Wow.
Mhm.
What is your master's and basters?
All of my degrees are in criminal justice, just different levels. I work
Okay.
at the Department of Criminal Justice. And let me tell you just real quick, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
going to give you one of my testimonies because I work for the Department of Criminal Justice or the Department of Corrections. A lot of people know them as the Department of Corrections. And I
Mm-hmm.
tell people I spent 33 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, but not as an inmate, as an employee. But I might as well have been an inmate because they told me what to do, when to do, how much they were going to pay me, when to be there. They controlled my every movement, even though I was only there 8 hours a day. How many people think about work when they're not at work? How many people have gone to work sick? They controlled my movement
Girl,
just like
girl.
they control the movements of the inmates in the institutional division. They control everything. So I
Yes.
might as well have been an inmate.
You know, it's so funny because I mean, I was just that black sheep of the family, I guess, because I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. So I would get on a job, and if my kids got sick, I'd be like, holla. And they were like, you can't leave. And I said, what? I'm gone, you know. So I didn't keep a job long because I mean, the moment that I felt like you were boxing me in,
That's good.
I was gone. And so 2008, I stepped out and started my own business. And ever since then, it's been, you know, different things. But I've always had that. I mean, I hated for people to tell me when. And then, you know, of course, I'm labeled insubordinate, and you know, she don't want to listen, da da da. And I said, "Yeah, I'm just cut from a different cloth. It's just like everything that you did at your job, you can do for yourself."
That's right. We're built. You're at a job building somebody else's dream. I wonder how many people were out there when COVID hit, and your boss was able to go to their vacation home because they're making 7 figures, and you trying to figure out what you're going to do with your kids so you can do this work for them.
I'm telling you right now, with COVID-19, honey, it rang bells. Do you hear me? People were going to work on mandates, causing them to get sick, this and this and that. Girl, the moment that they were like, oh, it's mandatory, I said, well, I'll be gone. Bye. And you know, and I understand that not everyone can walk off their job. So let me just be real sensitive to that.
Absolutely.
Everyone is not there, but all at the same time, you have a gift, skill, and talent that God has given you. It's just the fear of it all, because that 9 to 5 got you thinking, if I don't get this money, you know what I mean? It's because entrepreneur is, I need to make the money. Right. But 9 to 5, they giving you the money. So right. It's just a mind. And I love when you said, I changed my mind about money. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
When I talk about money has an energy, right? And my energy was a lack. It was a lack energy. I had to shift it to an abundance in energy, because God did. There's abundance. We have a life and life more abundantly, right? Yeah. We just get caught up in our head. And I want to mention, you said that, you know, everybody can't walk off their job right now, and that's not what we want you to do. I want to be the one to help you get a plan. Right. I have a whole program called Your Exit Plan, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But when I had to shift my mindset, and Mona, when I shifted my mindset from paycheck to paycheck and lack, and this is the best I can do, and this is all that there is for me, and it's not really that bad because it's people that have it worse off than me. When I shifted that to, no, this same talent that I'm giving to the government, I need to give to myself. And the last 8 months that it took me to build to leave, I did the bare minimum. I had never gotten written up in all those years, nearly 34, never gotten written up, but I did the bare minimum when I was there. Because why go above and beyond? They don't go above and beyond for me. Right. So why was I going above and beyond for them? So I tell people all the time, I wasn't insubordinate. I did what I was supposed to do, but it was the bare minimum. If my boss, and I was like a director when I left, if my boss, the one above me, asked me a question, I gave him a 1-word answer, no punctuation, yes, no, and okay.
Wow.
And a lot of people are going to say, well, she's an angry Black woman, and she got, I'm not an angry Black woman. I'm a grateful Black woman. Proud to be where I am today.
That's a difference. What are some lessons learned in the journey of being an author?
One of the lessons I learned, because I was in a class probably of 30 people that were working on their book, and it was only 2 of us that finished their book and went on to publish it. And so the lesson I want everybody to get is get in there and do it. Quit.
Just do it. Oh my goodness.
Making excuses.
Just make it happen.
Make it happen. And I'm sure if you don't know how to get started, get with Mona. She's written a book before. This is what she does. If you
It's
have
Mona Lisa.
Mona Lisa, get with Mona Lisa. I'm so sorry. Get with
You're
her.
fine.
Out how she did hers. I don't know. Do you teach classes? Do you teach people how to write books and have publisher resources?
You know what? I did. Like I was saying, when I wrote the book, I was gung ho. I was going on speaking engagements. I was doing the book signing. And then it got to the point to where I guess I just didn't take care of myself, self-care. And it got to the point to where I started feeling those emotions and feeling those down times. And then I just was like, because it was hectic. It was hectic. And then, I say it wasn't nothing but the grace of God that brought me through that. But reading those sections of the book and having people that come to those book signings and giving their testimony and you praying for them. I mean, it was just taxing.
Right.
When I wasn't taking care of myself emotionally. And that's just what was going on.
Right. And so, that's a difficult part. And self-care is something you have to do when you start any type of project, because it's going to be taxing on you. So, for those of you guys out there that want to write a book, you can do it. You just need some help. And one of the things, one piece of advice I want to give everybody: if you want to get to a different level, you're going to have to get around different people, because a lot of times those people that in your circle, they're gonna bring you down. Why are you writing a book? Ain't nobody gonna read your book. You don't know how to write a book. And I would be like, well, neither do you.
It was always, who do you think you are? How is your life so important to where, and I was just like, wow. I mean, these are people that and they're like, okay, what's the big deal about your life? What? And I'm like going, you don't even understand. Because when you sit down and like I remember Bishop said a while back, when you tell somebody your testimony, they got to be mature enough to handle it as well. Because not everybody can handle that testimony.
That's right. That's right. And so one of the things that I talk about in my book is the chains of marriage. And I really didn't lay any blame on anybody in the book other than me. I have to own my stuff, because everything that happened to me, I allowed happen to me. I didn't know what this thing called depression was. I didn't know what this thing called anxiety was. I know now, and I can speak to it. I know when it creeps up, and I don't have time for it. But one of the things I talked about was the chains of marriage, right? I'm no longer married now, right? I'm very, very happy being single. But one of the things that my ex-husband told me that's like an anthem to me, he told me, you're trying to be something you're not.
Oh, wow.
And I went like this. I knew exactly what he meant, but I said, you know what? I am. I'm trying to be your wife, and that I am no longer going to do that. And
wow.
I left, because that was a wake-up call to me. You don't get to tell me I'm trying to be something I'm not, because I'm much more than what I am. And I allowed all these boxes to kind of fall in on my head. And now I'm going to get myself out of the boxes, right? Yeah. And again, I don't blame anything. I probably should have left a long time ago, but I stayed stuck in there because that's what you did. That's what you did. And I'm here to tell you, I'm not telling anybody to leave their husband. I'm not telling anybody to go quit their job. But what I am telling you is, if you are running into some issues, get some help. And if you're wanting to build a business, write a book, be a famous author, speak, whatever it is you're going to do, you're going to have to get around a different group of people, because the people you're around, they're not going to understand your journey, because there's a lot of people that are slaves right now. And like Harriet Tubman, I've gone back to get them, but they don't even know they're slaves. They won't come with me.
Oh,
fine. Everybody's ready.
That right there is real, because how do I explain that? So you start telling people snippets, right? To just see where they are, and you get a response, and you can tell right then whether they're one of those slaves that you go back and get, or you need to just go ahead and leave them there.
Right.
from that snippet. And one of the snippets for me is I will mention a business or starting your own business. And then all I'm hearing is, I can't. When that starts, I'm like, oh, okay. If I hear, oh, I could do that, but I can hear a but I can't hear a can't. I can't do that.
And and then people will say that all the time, like, I can't do that. And but this. But if I say, okay, stay on the plantation, now you get mad at me. I didn't get mad at you, right? So don't come at me with that. I'm just telling you, this is modern slavery.
It really is.
And I'm not putting anybody down. I was on the plantation for 33 years. And you know how I came up with that, Mona Lisa? I had a friend who was as I was building my business, he called me one day at work, and I was in a meeting, and I saw he called, and I was like, I answered the phone. I said, hold on. And then I stepped out of the meeting, and he said, oh, I forgot you was at the plantation. It was the middle of the day. He was calling me.
That's good. That's good, because literally I can remember those times I'd be on the phone like we escaping or something. Wait a minute, I gotta call you back. But then if your phone rings, you can pick your phone up.
Right.
I just can't pick mine up.
Right. And it's hard for people to conceptualize not working a job because we've been conditioned to work a job. But I'm going to challenge those folks that are listening to see if you have a retirement plan, if it's enough, and then think about, what does your 65-year-old life look like? Ooh. Because if you're struggling now, if you don't like your job, and the entrepreneurship is not for everybody. And I'm not saying everybody dislikes their job, because I didn't dislike my job. I did not dislike it. I didn't love it. It was all right. But some people absolutely hate their jobs. Some people love their jobs. But I ask you, whatever it is that you do, what does your 65-year-old life look like?
Wow. So what do you think a retirement nest looks like? I mean, because for me, and I'm, like I said, I'm gonna be real. I walked off the job with maybe, what was it? 20? I think it was 20,000, maybe 25,000. And I was told, girl, you must be kidding me. You can't live off of $25,000. You go as a startup type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I did a lot with that 25. You know what I'm saying?
Because, and you ain't never went back.
And it just, I don't know. It was just like, I will walk off a job. I mean, it's like, God will provide. And that's always been my mantra. If I walked off the job, I literally had another one that next week, because I was like, okay, Lord, I know you got one for me. Just point it out. Where we going?
Right. That's good. That's good to have that amount of confidence, not confidence, faith. Yeah. See, people say they have faith, but they don't. And everybody has so many abilities. But one of the things that I wanted to say is, in all transparency, after 33 years with the government, I left with something. Not a lot. I have to be transparent. I did not walk off the job without insurance, because I have full insurance, dental, health, and all of that. And that's something that people worry about. But I say, why stay at a job? If you can make enough money to buy your insurance, why are you staying there? I just happen to be at the end of the road. At the end of the road, right? I get an annuity. It was not enough to live on. I don't even use it anymore. I make enough in my business so that carries my bills for my travel. I do more now than I ever did when I was working. And here's another thing that we as women and women that don't really pay attention to what's going on with our money. I write off about 95% of my life.
Trust me on that one right there. I said, that's the thing. You think that, who was it? Somebody said, I forgot who said that. It was like, I can't afford to start a business. I'm like going, starting a business is the best tax breaks ever. What makes you think, okay, I'm not going to do political stuff, but what makes you think different people that own businesses are Cadillacing around tax return time because they're able to write off a lot of those expenses. Now, trust me, I have been broke before. Believe me on that. But when I was a business owner, I was able to write off vehicles, half my apartment. I mean, supplies. You know, I was even able to do a cleaner's bill at one point. I mean, whoo, baby, I had
Listen,
a CPA that was on it. And that's the thing. It's like you got to be aware when you are a business owner, you have a responsibility to know legal stuff too. You just can't be running around here trusting people with your money. You
that's
better
true.
ask Hollywood people that. So not only do you need a okay, that's the thing. A millionaire told me this. You need a CPA in your life. You need an accountant in your life. You need a banker in your life. And you need a life coach or a business coach in your life. And those four people, if you really look at it, it goes around your money and
There
your
we go.
life.
There we go.
Yeah.
You said that a mouthful there. And one of the things that people don't understand is you don't even know what you don't know.
Right.
And that was me. That was me. So you gave a nugget there. I hope people wrote that down. I hope people wrote that down because I tell people all the time, I may not be the coach for you, but get a coach because you don't even know what you don't know. And when people come in my program, it's so much I have to unteach them. It's so much that they think they know better than me. And I don't say that to be arrogant, but what I
Mhm.
will do is I'll say, okay, you've been doing X, Y, and Z. How's that working out for you?
That's
Well,
exactly that's
you
exactly
know,
right.
okay, that's
How's that
because you
working
need
out?
to do LMNOP. Let
Yeah.
me show you how to do it.
And I'm the first one to get in a room and go, I don't know.
I
I mean,
will too. I,
I
I
don't know. But what I do know, I will share.
right.
And a business strategist saved me money because without one, I lost thousands of dollars because I didn't trust the business coach that told me a strat. Like for instance, I watched Shark Tank, right?
Hmm.
And how they throw those numbers at those people was how they were throwing numbers at me. And I'm thinking, I know my business. This is my baby. This is da 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 da. And they wanted to buy a portion of my business. And the strategist was like, yes, 15%, da 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 da. And I'm like, wait a minute, this ain't your business. This ain't your da, da, da. And girl, how about what? 3 months later, I was busted and disgusted, lost everything.
Oh wow.
Oh, yes. I mean, I have been on the top and I've been on the bottom. And I learned a lot because a lot of business owners are very, this is my business and this is my, and I don't want to tell nobody and da 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 da. But you have to tell somebody something sometimes.
That's right. And it's enough out there for everybody to eat. It's
Yeah.
enough that and holding on to stuff like that, you have got to serve. When you and the only way you can serve is to help other people.
Now, see, I love that. When you said that, that is beautiful. That is
Yes.
so beautiful. So, what is next for you as an author, madam?
So, what I am going to be doing next is building my society. I have a society called the Moonlighter Society. And the
Oh,
Moonlighter Society, even though the Moonlighter Society has some folks in it that started off with me working and they no longer work now, but it's mainly for those folks that want to build a business, whether you have one going now or if you're in the beginning stages, because that's really the best time before
mm,
you've even started. That's the best time to get a coach because you've got to build your community. And
mm,
inside the Moonlighter Society, we go from A to Z in teaching people how to build their business. I have a membership and a mentorship. We do conferences, we do webinars, and I'm gonna give you guys a little tip here. You know how people say you need to have 7 streams of income?
Yes.
And you hear people say, "Oh, I have 7 streams of income." This used to be me, Mona Lisa. I would say I have 7 streams of income. I work in 5 MLMs. I work my full-time job and I teach classes. That's 7 things, right? That's so wrong. That is so wrong.
Oh my gosh. I was caught up. What was that? MLM. When you said that, that was just like, that was me all day. That was me.
Right now, I do work in an MLM and I have a team of over 300 people, but I keep that very, very separate. But it was that business piece that I got that helps me over there with those folks. But 7 streams of income is around 7 things with the same body of work.
Right.
The
right.
same body of work. So I teach webinars, I have conferences, I have a membership, I have a mentorship, I do workshops, I have my book.
Yeah.
That's 7 things around one body of work.
I learned that. I had to learn that, Jennifer. I really did, because I was intimidated. When I heard 7 streams, I'm like, who the heck can do 7 freaking streams of income? And that millionaire looked at me and said, you have a book, right? You need to have some classes on or sessions, workshops with your book. You need to be speaking about your book itself, your workbook. You can, formulate a journal or whatever the case may be. And then on top of that, you have to learn how to be able to go to, like conferences and stuff like that, to be able to sell your promotional items and things like this. And I was like, wow, that's 7. And he was like, you can do it.
You can
do it. It's easy. But guess what? If you don't know,
you don't know. And you take all of those 7 things and you put them in a funnel, and people are going to sift out. And at the bottom is going to be your highest priced product, which may be your mentorship. I teach people how to take that one. That's what I was doing over in class. We meet every week, but you've got everybody has that one. They just don't think of it in those terms. So when your coach told you that, you're like, okay, that makes sense.
It made so much sense. Now, I lived in Texas. Okay, I was in Dallas for 10 years.
Okay,
I was in Austin for 25.
I'm in Austin.
I was in Austin for 25 years. Yes, ma'am.
Did you go to school here?
Wait a minute. I went to junior college, Austin Community College there.
Okay, I went there too.
Yeah, I went there, and I moved to Dallas. And when I moved to Dallas, it was like an aha moment for me professionally. I had the drive and everything in Austin, but it was so much familiarity around me. They were like, I can't see you doing that. But when I moved to Dallas, nobody knew me. So when I came and said I was a speaker or whatever, they were like, oh, okay. And then you follow up with whatever you do, right?
Right.
So I moved to Georgia in 2019. So now I'm in Savannah, Georgia.
Okay.
Now let me tell you the hardest thing I need to find. I need to find someone that can help me go to the next level with this particular show. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is something that I didn't do in Austin, and it's something that I started in Dallas. So now I'm trying to pick up where I left off here in Savannah, Georgia, and I just don't see it happening. So I would be the first. And that's sort of like you know how hard it is being the first.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking for someone to help me, because right now I have tentacles in 5 different areas that's supposed to be meeting and talking to one another.
Okay.
So
tell me now, here I'm getting ready to interview you. Tell me a little bit about where you're wanting to take the show in terms of, I know, and I'm going to have to go back and thank the person who tagged me for you. I believe it was one of my team members tagged me.
Oh, yeah.
Carol Jackson.
Oh, yes, Carol. We grew
Yeah.
up together. Yeah.
Oh, did you really? And I can't, what is the name of her book? Distracted Attractions. Attracted by something like that. I love
Right.
Carol to death. I'm going to see her on Saturday. I'm going to definitely thank her. But one of the things that I would want to know is what are you wanting to do with the show? Are you wanting to take it to like the network?
And yes, because we're connected to a production company right now, right? But I'm looking at a certain sync. What is the word? Syndicated. I want to get syndicated, and what I have, and we'll talk offline. But what I have, it can do it. You know what I'm saying? It can definitely do it because we started during the pandemic. And when I tell you the numbers were crazy, but I didn't have that it factor, which is the connecting of all five of these sources.
Okay.
And without that connecting, I think that was the missing link.
Okay.
But I'm definitely going to stay connected to you.
Absolutely, because I'd love to hear more about it. That's not my area of expertise, but I wanted to hear more about it so that if I hear something, know something, I can let you know.
Yeah, I definitely want to be connected to you because I like the way you think. And like-minded people need to stick together,
Absolutely.
especially now. So
Absolutely.
I want to thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
My
And
pleasure.
please believe that I am going to be messaging you so
Absolutely.
you can come back. Is that going to be okay with you?
That's going to be perfectly fine. And I want to maybe just send you some books to give away or however, for the folks
Yes.
listening, whatever you can decide how to give them away. I'll just get your information and get them in the mail to you.
I'll give you my information tonight right along with this link so you can put it on your page. How's that
Okay.
sound?
Perfect. Sounds
All
amazing.
right, great. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
My
Mwah.
pleasure. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. Wow, what a show. What a show. Thank you guys for tuning in with Evenings with Mona Lisa. I appreciate it, and Jennifer was amazing. Thanks again for tuning in, and please do not forget to catch us on Thursday mornings. Mona Lisa Monroe Morning Show, Thursday morning, 10 Eastern, 9 Central, and Evenings with Mona Lisa, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. You guys, love you, love you, love you. And don't forget to check us out next Thursday because our guest for the last Thursday of the month is going to be bananas. You're going to hear her and go, oh my God, that was her. You're going to not want to miss that show. Okay? All right. Don't miss us. See you soon. God bless. Bye-bye.